Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Extra Cover. So we just passed a rather pleasant week for us, the Sri Lankan cricket fans. Of course, Sri Lanka winning the third and the final T20, and the Ashes also came to a wonderful end. The fourth Ashes test came to a wonderful end as Australia winning the Ashes and retaining the Ashes in the fourth Ashes test. So we got all those things to talk about and some interesting news coming from all over the world as well. So with that being said, let's begin this week's episode of Extra Cover. Now, in the previous week, Sri Lanka defeated New Zealand in the final and the third T20 international at Pallekele International Ground. So in that match, Lasith Malinga created 8 world records on the trot. But yes, New Zealand went on to win the series 2-1. But it was a memorable match for all of us Sri Lankans. Lasith Malinga claimed 4 wickets in 4 balls for the second time in his career to lead Sri Lanka to a 37-run consolation win over New Zealand in the third T20 International on Friday. Malinga returned career best figures of 5 for 6 to bundle New Zealand, who won the series 2-1, out for 88 while chasing 126 on Kandy. The 36-year-old Malinga bowled Colin Munro for 12 on the third ball of his second over to become the first T20 international bowler to claim 100 wickets as he began his demolition of the Kiwi batting. Now moving on to Ashes. Well, the fourth Ashes test came to a dramatic end, and of course Australia winning the fourth Ashes test by 185 runs, and it was Steven Smith once again stepped out for Australia and scored his third Ashes doubleton and his 9th consecutive Ashes half-century. Steve Smith yet again proved to be England's biggest nemesis as the former Australian captain hit a sensational double century to put his team in complete control of the fourth Ashes test at Old Trafford in Manchester. The 30-year-old's 211 was the centerpiece of Australia's 497 for 8 declared on the second day. It was his third century in 4 innings. This series followed scores of 144 and 142 in the opener at Edgbaston. Steve Smith's first test since completing a 12-month ball tempering ban. Ricky Ponting was effusive in his praise for Steve Smith and hailed him as a genius. Now moving on to a rather disappointing news coming from our neighbours from Pakistan. Abdul Qadir, one of the greatest leg spinners ever to play cricket. Now he was passed away at the age of 64 at Lahore, and he was one of the greatest leg spinners who ever played cricket and was praised by many of cricketers around the world. Indian cricketing legend Sachin Tendulkar and former Pakistan captain Imran Khan paid tribute to spin legend Abdul Qadir, who died in Lahore after suffering a cardiac arrest. Abdul Qadir, who would have turned 64 on September 15, died before he could be brought to a hospital. "I have lost a good friend and wonderful cricketer who served the country so well," Imran Khan said in his condolence message. The cricketer turned politician said Qadir's death was a shock to him. India's batting legend Sachin Tendulkar offered his condolences to Qadir's family and called the Pakistan great as one of the best spinners of his time. Imran played an instrumental role in turning Qadir into a household name as it was under his captaincy, and the leg spinner flourished to secure many tests and one-day victories for Pakistan, including 9 for 56 in one test against West Indies in Faisalabad in 1986. Now, for the players who are playing for India under BCCI's contract, it's prohibited for them to play under any franchise cricket leagues other than IPL. But Dinesh Karthik was seen in the dressing room of Trinbago Knight Riders team in their opening match in the CPL. Dinesh Karthik tendered an unconditional apology to the Indian Cricket Board after he was given a show cause notice for attending a promotional event of the Caribbean Premier League franchise Trinbago Knight Riders, which is owned by the Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan. The 34-year-old was seen wearing a Trinbago Knight Riders jersey and sitting in their dressing room during TKR's opening CPL match against St Kitts and Nevis in Port of Spain. Dinesh Karthik, in a letter to the BCCI, wrote that he had gone to Trinidad on the invitation of Trinbago head coach Brendan McCullum, who was also appointed head coach of the IPL team Kolkata Knight Riders in August. Now those are some interesting news which came across in the previous week of the cricketing world. So now let's get into the top 5 incidents, top 5 most interesting incidents which came across in the previous week of the cricket world.
Okay, and that will be the over, and he gets on the point. Look at this. That is so village. Unbelievable.
So that's it for this week's episode of Extra. I hope you enjoyed and hope you gained some knowledge about some interesting things which happened in the previous week of the cricketing world. So please subscribe our channel and please do leave your comments, your opinions and thoughts in our comment section as well. So with that being said, it's goodbye from Team Batsman.